Here is another follower-submitted AITA story for you. This one is, am I the astronaut for telling my husband that seeing his family while we are visiting our home state is not my priority? My husband, 39 male, and I, 35 female, have been married for 2 years, together for over 3 years. We are both originally from Oregon, but we didn't meet there. My husband relocated to Texas as a child with his immediate family 30 years ago due to military. I moved to Texas 7 years ago, sight unseen, leaving all my family and friends back home because I was young, single, and why the heck not? YOLO. Moving to Texas has been one of the best decisions of my life. We currently live within 20 minutes of my husband's parents and siblings, and we see them all the time, almost every weekend. We also spend every holiday with them. He has aunts, uncles, and cousins scattered around between Oregon and Washington. Not once in his entire adult life has he ever made the effort to go see them. I, however, have made a very concerted effort to go home at least once a year since moving to Texas to see my family. And even then, I don't get to see them all every time. I prioritize seeing my parents the most. My dad and stepmom live out at the coast, 2 hours away from Portland, where my mom and the rest of my family and friends live. I typically divide my trip to where I spend half of the time at the coast with my dad and stepmom and half of my time with my mom in town. This leaves me getting to see my parents for an average of 3.5 days a year. While in Portland, I try to see all of my brothers and my cousins, who I am very close to. But with all of the different schedules, it doesn't always work out. I haven't seen my family or friends since I moved because there's so many of them and I can't fit them all into a 1-week trip, especially when half the week I'm out of town at the coast. Also, by no means is my time back home a vacation. It's usually very hectic and tiring, trying to see one person for lunch, another for dinner, driving all over town to meet them, etc. My husband has mentioned a few times how it's unfair we are not making time for his family while up there. His family is scattered around. They live within 2 to 4 hours away from my family and all in opposite directions from each other. If they were all centrally located or even willing to drive to a central location, that would be fine. However, because they are either older or have kids, they expect us to go to them. I have told him if he wants to schedule a 2-week trip instead of a 1-week trip, I would be down for that. But he had to take the initiative to schedule with his relatives, book the local accommodations, and budget for the extra expenses in the trip. For example, more hotel stays, longer car rental, etc. And save his PTO to get that much time off. He never has. Instead, he uses his PTO throughout the year for other things. For the record, if we ended up doing something close to one of his family members, we will make time to see them. Last year while visiting, we went on a weekend camping trip that was 45 minutes away from one of his aunts. We did make the time to meet her for breakfast. My husband also will only ask me once in a blue moon how anyone in my family is. Am I the astronaut? I don't know about you guys, but the first thing that rolled through my mind was, this might be a dude thing. That may be a lame excuse, but I think that this might be a dude thing typically. In our relationship with Candy Thunder and I, she's going to be the one that focuses on making sure that we're allocating time to family members, that we're engaging with that. That's just not where my head is at. Maybe I'm just survival focused. I don't know. But this seems like it could be a dude thing. Maybe that's lame and stupid, but it could be true. Let me just give you something to think about. Something we talk a lot about is teamwork in a marriage. And I think if you're approaching everything as teamwork, there is never a me and me. There is a we. And my point is, with the teamwork approach, if this were a true holistic teamwork approach, they would both be making plans together to see everyone. But that's not the way it is. She is making plans specifically to see her family and saying for his family, it should be a him thing. If that were a pure teamwork approach, I can see how there is inequality in it, which doesn't make her the asshole. It just means that you could approach this together and have a much more balanced situation. Because if this is a dude thing, he may need the help. If this was applied to my situation here, I would need the help. I would need the suggestions. I would need okay, I've got this stuff done here and I've blocked out these times so that we can try to see your parents. Why don't you give them a call and see if this day and this time would work for them, or this day and this time? I would need help with that. Maybe he needs help with that too. And if it's a true teamwork approach like we have, then that would happen. So I can see that there would be a solution to this. I can see that this wouldn't have happened. There is another way, and that's my point. Not to say that she's the asshole in any way, just that there is another way. Currently live within 20 minutes of my husband's parents and siblings, and we see them all the time, almost every weekend. It's other family members. And maybe that's part of this scenario too, where it's like proximity, because you have that immediate family and then you've got rings that go outward from there where the connection may not be as strong. His immediate family lives like close to them where they live. So when they go visit somewhere, I can see it's not immediate family. So obviously the priority is see the immediate family that you're closer to first. And then for both of them, as those rings get outward, just prioritize like that, from closeness to how far away you are. And if that's all it is, if she's just going to see her immediate family, then yeah, I mean, he doesn't have anything to bitch about either way, because he does have to take some kind of initiative. But that initiative could simply be, hey, do you mind helping me out by, like, let's try to carve at least this one little time out to see one person. That's it. That's it.